Hello, Flag, and hello, Blade Jabal. One thing I like about the format of the optional dungeons in D3 is, generally speaking, level 1 of the optional dungeons is, you know, the longer, windier passage with more stuff. Floor 2 is almost always shorter, usually terminates in a boss and a chest relatively quickly. Not always, of course, and I'm probably about to be proven wrong. Yeah, we saw that a lot in earlier optional dungeons. Hi, Sean. We have flaming dogs, as you do.
We must go. My curse upon you.
Probably Blade Jabal. They were probably thinking about that system when they were designing it. What's surprising about it, Zach, though? Is it terrible?
I grow in power.
It's terrible, isn't it? You can tell me. It's okay, I can take it. Hello, Dark Day. Now we're doing fire damage on our dart. Doing all kinds of fire damage here. Oh, and we're back to hexes.
This is the passage I have been searching for.
I've always wondered how much Adria relied on Diablo's power instead of her own. Based on her blood goblins, her magic is very strong. These flesh gorgers are raised from earth, stone, and demon blood, and they are driven to feast on humans so they may resemble us more closely. Let's hope they don't succeed.
Gross.
I had half a mind to explore the ancient ruins outside Westmarch, and then I realized they were crawling with dreadful scarabs. Of course, these creatures do not frighten me, but they make my research much too time-consuming, and I am widely known for my efficiency, am I not?
Oh, absolutely, Sean. No question.
I'd probably still be wondering. Adria birthed these golems from the blood marsh. Their bodies were formed from the water and earth of the marsh itself, while the venom of the marsh creatures gave them life. Their very skin seems to burst with the poison of this land.
You die!
Yeah, Westmarch was never really a nice place, but I like how they emphasize that externally as well as internally. It's a fun place. Fun place. Also, Reaper of Souls, for all its good parts, continues the narrative that Adria is super amazingly powerful and awesome for some reason. Yeah, I could see that, Zach Theft. Although that's not exactly a problem just for them. A lot of people tend to focus on their big things to the exception of the others. That's the building tall approach to marketing as opposed to building wide. One of the reasons why so many Warhammer 40k things center around Space Marines.
I have uncovered an obscure and ancient tome in whose pages is recorded an impossible tale. The secret history of a race called the Nephilim, gods by another name, and their ruined civilization in the West. If this is true, how could all signs of these Nephilim be lost but for the record of this single tome?
Good question.
I strike at your heart.
Part of the reason, Sean, that I think that is Mr. Incredible and team didn't really have backing or resources, right? They didn't have a patron, put simply, whether government or a rich person or whatever. So if Syndrome just vanished, he could just kind of use all his money and assets and contacts, and the Incredible team couldn't follow him because they have none of that. So if Superman is like, hey, such and such just happened, he can actually reach out to people and say, hey, this villain's gone into hiding. We should probably freeze the assets of his various corporations so he can't rise again. And they'll be like, yeah, cool. Or miraculously, what they'll say is, go away, Superman, you're dumb. And that's how Lex Luthor keeps coming back. I know. Status quo is God. Exactly, Dark Day. I mean, up until Syndrome started footing the bill, they were having trouble paying, rent. Or rather, they were about to start having trouble paying rent, would be a more accurate way to put that. Because he just lost his job.
I think the faces on the walls are staring at me. Probably because I'm so handsome.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, Mike Romano. Are you secretly evil? It's okay, you can tell me. You gotta tell me if you're evil, it's the law. I've played Blizzard games before. Hi, Two-Base Master. I know, Evo. Like, there's this one amazing, incredible woman I know. But then it turned out that she secretly hated me and wanted me to suffer. She would rather go back to her existing life, which she proclaims to hate, rather than be with me. I don't blame her, because that would probably be true with anybody. Like, the idea of actually working with me, I mean, that is truly hell right there.
My power grows vast.
I mean, you asked where the logic comes from, Eva. That's the logic. It is a good theme, I agree with it. It's so quiet now. I guess tombs should be quiet, really, in an ideal circumstance. If a tomb isn't quiet, that's probably a bad thing.
Show off those fancy attacks you like so much.
Death to the status quo, and death to the living! Sorry. But seriously, screw the status quo.
Your evil undoes you.
Exactly. Mike Romano's evil has outdone him. Or undone him. Yes, Dark Day. As was announced months in advance, the Diablo rewrite went live on the 1st. Listen, I don't know what music has to do with anything, Mike. Because music lyrics are one of those strange, esoteric things that only the truly mad could ever possibly comprehend. To talk about the status quo in a slightly more serious aspect for a second. One of the things that... Whoa. One of the things that became a talking point for the Star Wars rewrite is when the story should end. Or, to be slightly more accurate, if the story should end. Now, I kind of put my foot down on that one. The answer is yes, the story should absolutely end at a certain point. And we will reach a point in which the Star Wars rewrite is concluded. What am I in combat with? But I bring that up because it's one of those fascinating things. Because any creative type ever will tell you there's a certain point at which the story should conclude. You're good. You're done. The end.
A perfect strike.
Whether it's a happily ever after, or everyone dies forever, or anything in between, or even both. Story concluded. And I bring that up because it's funny how much the antithesis that basic level of writing logic is to corporate mentality. Because, oh my god, the story ended. We need to keep going with the story. Forever! Those yachts don't pay for themselves. I'm being a little facetious, but to be clear, I am being serious. Ooh. Hungry bats, yes, yes. Oh, we're getting some weird abilities here. Hang on. Dune the original, or like the rest of Dune? But yeah, I mean, The Simpsons is such an obvious example of when a story really should end. But as I was mentioning before the lunch break, there are plenty of examples of stories where the story really should end at a certain point. Actually, I think that's the common opinion, Raikmono. I think I'm in the outlier for not liking when the series got weird. Like, I don't hear many people agreeing with me on that one. Now, there is another caveat here, which Pillars of Snow already got there first, because Pillars of Snow is just that much better than me, apparently. I can't even talk faster than someone could type. Ugh, I didn't even do my stretches. The other caveat is that just because a story concludes doesn't mean you have to stop doing stories for that particular franchise. Excuse me. So, for example, Star Wars. There's plenty of room for additional stories throughout the course of Star Wars, even if Star Wars ends over here at this point of the timeline right here. We can still go back and examine this, or we could re-examine this, or we can do another story of this, or have a guidance story of this, or whatever, right? So there's tons of room for storytelling there. To use the example I like to use, because I've actually talked about this exact topic before, Final Fantasy VI ended in a very conclusory fashion. It should not have a sequel, and I mean that. Canon FF6 should not have a sequel. But there is lots of room for storytelling still within the FF6 setting. Like, tons of different stories you could do, whether you zoom it all the way in or even if you pull a more macroscopic scale, in that timeline.
Lorath, you come with me no further. When I am done, you can join me.
You're going to kill her, aren't you?
I will do what is right.
We are all counting on you.
I mean, yeah, of course I'm going to kill her. I've never been quiet about that. I knew what you meant, Mike Kamano. And I stand by what I just said. Your opinion is the common one. Luneruth is correct. Dune really took off when it started branching out. Give in to the revenge side.
Too much. These ruins are reacting to your presence.
This is a Nephilim city, and I am a Nephilim.
At least thought I was a little bit Nephilim. A teeny bit?
No.
No.
A perfect strike.
What's white spiders? I don't see any white spiders. You see white spiders? I don't see white spiders.
Did you see that hit?
Nice hit.
You are dead. Cops.
You can see how this is kind of the Necro, by the way. I've been trying not to talk about it too much to bore you, but... I mean, Lord knows that your incredibly evil imagination would come up with something as horrific as ghost spiders.
My curse upon you.
Lotro, Lord of the Rings Online, has glass spiders. They're mean, too.
My curse upon you.
Anything past the original Dune book is the expanded stuff in Arrow. Anything and everything. These spiders are just devouring everything. Like it or not, the spider builds tend to be pretty legit. Mostly because of how the game calculates stuff.
You die.
Like, having 1,000 sources of damage usually does really good damage in games like these. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Laniru. We are on the same page. We have accomplished synergy. We are of one mind.
My curse upon you.
Insert Borg joke here. Like my homing bats, by the way. Don't worry, Sean. I will pay good money for pictures of these spiders. I'm afraid not, Mike Tamano. I'm afraid between your love of music that has lyrics and your love of the Frank Herbert books, you are now truly a normie. Oh, oh, it's so horrible. I can't even bear to look. Oh. Evo, if you draw these, we're not friends anymore.
My strike is true. My power grows vast.
You're leveling very quickly. Disturbingly quickly. Do it, Mike Tamano! Give in to the normal side of the Force!
My strike is true.
With each passing moment, you make yourself more normal. It is inevitable. I mean, there's no mods for this game in general, so I don't know. Oh, that sounds like fun. Ugh. More Spirit Walk. Wait, which one's Severance? Ah, right, okay. Yeah, as much as I love getting back banned, let's not.
Your evil undoes you.
I just don't like where the series went after doing that. That's really all that boils down to. Whether it's competently written or not, it's not something I can talk about, because it involves people turning into worms and performing long-term eugenics, I think is the word I'm going to use there. order to alter. Just yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Yeah, it went weird. Let's just call it what it is. It went weird. And you know me, not a fan of weird. I never have been, too, even when I was a kid. How do you smell treasure? Actually, I take that back. I guess blood, wow. Gold does have a distinctive scent to it. Or maybe it's just metal has a distinctive scent to it. Because I can smell metal. That's an easy thing.
The truth burns you.
Again, I'm not trying to dissuade anyone's opinions, nor am I trying to say anyone's opinions are wrong. It just went weird. So I was never going to be into it from word go. And when I finally sat down to actually read the whole series, I was just like, ugh. And then there was just vomit. Vomit everywhere. My mother was very upset, throwing up all over her books like that.
My strike is true.
Yeah, I've just got all this useless gold. Ugh! Look, I know my weird tolerance. It's pretty low. Some people will say, what would you call weird? How about an ending where all the characters just go? Points if you catch the reference. That's an obvious one, though. So only a couple of points.
The truth burns you.
No, Smash Brothers, ironically, is actually very not weird. Most of its internal lore makes perfect sense and is fairly self-consistent. There's a weirdly large amount of symbolism in the storytelling of Smash Brothers. That's true whether you take it literally, or if you assume the whole thing is just a kid playing with toys. It actually applies both ways.
I strike at your heart.
I mean, he managed to spit out a glass worth in that one episode, Pancakes.
Not ready yet. My strike is true.
No, I need more enemies. Oh, I only killed 84 things. I got the reference, Blakeball.
Why did they hide the Soul Stone down here?
Corvus was a city of the Nephilim. Its defenses shielded it from the eyes of angels and demons.
But not Malfire.
He is no ordinary angel.
Again, he literally followed you down here. It's not like he did some big, amazing thing. He was playing Assassin's Creed during one of those terrible tailing missions. I know, Blade of all. Just, yeah, we'll hold on to that.
The spirits aid me.
Ah! Nice, Bergman. Yeah, some builds are just going to do better at some challenges than others. I had a setup once on my Barbarian, which just absolutely destroyed single targets, but could not. It was a spear build, but couldn't do jack to large groups. So I'd hit a curse chest and just fail. I wouldn't even come close. I would just straight up fail. It's like, oh, okay.
A perfect strike.
Not even gonna try. Hi, Adria. Sister. Ready to come home, bet now.
See where you've been hiding, Malthael.
Adria.
The angels will never suffer us to live. They cannot accept the fact that we may choose our own path. At least demons are not so rigid in their beliefs.
That's your argument? Also, you have legs coming out of your head, so... That's a thing, too. This fight can actually be really mean on harder difficulties.
Demons are nothing to me. I will find my own path. Yours ends here.
She's like the beginnings of approaching right.
Sent me a vision. He had returned, and you were the one who freed him.
Never.
He always finds a way. My master will return.
Well, yeah, his name's on the box.
You will die alone.
Diablo will return. I have done what I can to ensure it. He always finds a way. In your heart of hearts, you know this.
Ah, good.
Before she died, Adria conjured an image of pandemonium.
She was searching for Malthael, so he must be there.
I need to go back.
Do demons have beliefs? Kinda. A little bit. Wow, we're almost 50. I think you're right. This is just way higher level than the other ones. Let's see. Do we have any... what is that? 39. What are we, 48 now? Jeez. Wait a minute. I smell a sub. From Pesnator! Damn you, Pesnator! My ancient nemesis. Fear not. With this sub, all past sins are erased. Join me, Pesnator. And together we will rule this pathetic world. Yeah, we'll go for it. And thank you, Pesnator. Always appreciate. So let's see. Fire Emblem Echoes. Dishonored 2. Suikoden Tactics. I mean, Lunarith is correct. They don't give a damn about who they oppress. They just oppress everybody. Let's see if we can get a socket on this thing. Let's do that one. Roll. Hey, socket.
See? Aren't you happy I didn't tell you beforehand that Adria would turn into a hideous monster?
Why would that bring me happiness?
You're so much more effective when you're stewing in blind rage, thirsting for revenge. We wouldn't want you to peak too early. Petty details would have just served to distract you.
Okay. I'll let that one go.
Dirges was possessed by an all-consuming rage. As Zai had stolen what was most valuable to Dirges, he would take from Zai all that he held dear.
Did Durgest kill him?
Dirges took something much more dear than Zai's life. His joy. He killed everyone Zai had loved and held dear. Oh, then he slew Lyria. Her light went out from the heavens. The seas wept, and the waves of their tears crashed upon the shore.
Our shop will be looted.
Oh, don't worry, dear. I'm sure all the looters have been torn apart by now.
She's got a point.
I don't think he will live much longer. Whatever secret he learned will surely be lost with him.
He saw Adria, but now she is dead.
No.
But why? Why would someone do this?
To keep her master's secrets.
Yeah, you know what irritates me vaguely about all of fiction, not just Blizzard games? There's this thing where they feel like they don't need to establish loyalty. Just some people are loyal to someone else. The end. And they never question it. They never explain why they're loyal. Or if they give an explanation, it's a really basic, dumb explanation, right? And this can go into real extremes depending on how bad the writing is. So, why is Adria so loyal to Diablo? Because she was raised by a rich, spoiled nobleman. And, yeah, I think that about covers it. But she is super loyal to Diablo. How loyal? Ignoring the fact that she had let Diablo impregnate her, which I'm not even going to touch that one. There's also the fact that after Diablo frickety died, she stayed loyal for 20 years working to enact his plans when he was in no position to, deal with that or reward her. And also, when she finally did do his ultimate bidding, his response was, "Go away, I'll have other stuff for you to do later." No reward, no benefit, just, "Good job, go away." Where does the loyalty come from here? Then, after Diablo frickety dies, again, she continues to be loyal and continues to belabor herself, trying to re-resurrect him. And like I said, this is extraordinarily common. Most fiction doesn't bother to ever explain loyalty. It's just something that's part of their character because they need them to be the minions of the evil people.
All right, it's him or us. Are you ready?
I don't know. That glowing sword looks sharp.
Who made Adria a demon? Good question. I mean, yeah, Blade to Ball. It wouldn't surprise me if he was like, "Thank you for reviving me." Stab. Like that, which is honestly even more the reason why her being loyal is weird, because that is totally something Diablo would do.
Where are you going? I have some good news.
Good news?
I mentioned what you did to some guards I met. You could get a commendation or something when this is all over.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Can I name an example of correctly establishing loyalty? Probably. I'd have to think about it more.
Malthael is in Pandemonium.
No doubt he has gone to the fortress. Malthael can hold out there until the end of time. He is forcing us to come to him.
He thinks to grow more powerful than me, while skulking in the shadows like a rat.
The only way to Pandemonium is through the high heavens. Let us leave at once.
Wait, what about just going there like we did in D2?
According to the records, King Rackus had a strong jaw, hair as black as night, and wore gleaming armor over his muscular... Sorry, what was I talking about?
Nothing.
Every time Westmarch is invaded, a hero appears to save it. History is much easier to write with a strong protagonist.
I now know death better than I know the shape of my hand or my own sword. Hendel charged into battle at my side. I'd known him since I enlisted, but when I looked at him that night, I had a vision. I saw the faces of the men he had killed, and I saw that he would not live to see the morning.
Also not how that works, but okay.
Rackus and his sons built much of Westmarch during their time. The ruins and the marshes outside the city may be their work too. Of course, whenever I ask the Crown for gold to further my excavations, there's always a more pressing matter at hand.
Lara! Peter!
For whom do you search?
Oh, it's my children. They're out playing a game, but I'll find them soon enough.
Right. Yeah, that. Nope, not dark. Not dark at all.
Let me see what you see. Show me, please. Show me.
We'll never see our friends again.
True, but we won't see that cobbler down the street again either.
Why, you're right. In fact, we're the only cobblers still alive. We'll be rich.
You'll be busy. Kirk and Spock. To Base Master. The loyalty of Kirk to Spock, and vice versa, is something that's well established, and they do a long time to establish why the two are so absolutely loyal to each other.
In the end, Zai trapped her just in the ruby Lyria had worn. Zai kept the stone around his neck as a reminder. In time, though, the burden grew too great to bear, and he cast off the stone. His divinity, everything. Where there once stood a young god, there was now just an old man.
An old man?
So the story says.
But I wouldn't listen to stories.
The prophet has foreseen our victory.
They will run when they see us. When I was forced to admit my beliefs were wrong, I was lost. I was afraid I would always feel that way. But instead, a sense of calmness has come over me. I'm no longer at war with myself.
The spirits and I are glad, my friend. You have cast aside the false teachings of this world and opened your eyes to truth.
We can't start to rebuild until we know that the one who caused this devastation is dead.
I am still searching for him. I swear to you, he will pay.
I hope so.
I'm sorry, too, Base Master. I just want to be very clear about this. You just asked me what franchise Kirk and Spock are from. Just make sure we're on the same page here.
So, now it's on to Pandemonium? You'll see a world only a few humans have laid eyes on before.
I have glimpsed the unformed land. There is nothing greater.
Ah, the beauty of life is lost on you, isn't it?
What is this?
Destroy the gate! The Nephilim is here!
Hello, Imperious.
Dares to attack us? Malthael is my brother. I fought 1,000 battles by his side, and I care not that he seeks to destroy you and your kind. But my brother has grown sick, and he must be put down for his own sake. Yet I have not the heart to do this. And so it falls to you. Come, Nephilim, to Pandemonium.
Notice that he only does that when Malthael openly attacks Heaven's Gates. And of course, if anybody was paying attention, the reason Malthael was attacking this gate was to prevent us from going through it.
Malthael tried to destroy the way to Pandemonium. He knows that I am coming for him. I will cross the broken land over which angel and demon have fought wars beyond counting. To the Pandemonium Fortress, where the angel of death waits, hiding behind its walls.
So welcome to the Path. This is one of the more fascinating places in the overall planar cosmology. No, Uthor. Imperius is dead, anyways. In the overall cosmology. It's kind of exactly what it sounds like. It is the path that directly connects the high heavens and the burning hells. As you might imagine, it's where probably about 99.99% of the battles between the heavens and the hells have happened on. It is literally the battlefield.
This place is even stranger than I expected. That's unusual.
Exactly, Uthor. You get it.
There is a siege camp not far from here. Meet me there, and I will show you what must be done.
Can you... Okay. So, since you can teleport... I mean, I guess technically I can teleport, too. Yeah, in some cases, the ground is literally made of the bones of what has been killed here.
Ravagers were among the most fearsome soldiers of hell. Having grown accustomed to the taste of war, they remained in Pandemonium long after the last siege of the
demons, the remnants of a long-forgotten battle.
So, as a further addendum, in case you missed that, because there was a little bit of cross-talking, this battlefield is so vast and has been fought over for so long, there are pockets of forces, from both sides actually, that are just stranded here. That have just been stuck there and just fight whatever's nearby, because what else are you gonna do? The biggest problem with the Eternal Conflict, really, is that neither side has ever actually thought about what happens after. The Eternal Conflict is their life. It's what they do. Like, you know, you... And I'm explaining this badly, so to try and put this into more terminology. What you do is you eat, you sleep, you know, you drink. Maybe you do a couple other things in your life, but those are the things that you do. Everybody in chat does those three things. Well, angels and demons, they fight the other side. That's their life. That's their everyday. It's one of the more interesting things about the setting, because we always talk about stagnation, but the real stagnation is the circumstance that has currently existed for millennia. As the two sides just keep fighting. And remember, because that respawn mechanic, that just keeps on going.
You will need to do better if you are to stand any chance.
Thanks, Imperius. It is. It is literally like having breakfast for them, Evo. Truth be told, I don't think Diablo put any thought into what would happen after he successfully won the battle. I mean that. I don't think it ever even occurred to him. Alright, I've destroyed the spine, which will prevent all future angels from respawning.
That is a siege room. Bring it with you.
By the way, I'm kind of glossing over it. There is an astonishing amount of detail in the background of this place. Like, you really can get the vibe of how long this place has been fought over. There are corpses on top of weapons, on top of battlements, on top of corpses. Like, just look at that.
Do you see the battering ram below? That is the only way you can breach the fortress gates. But it is useless without the siege rooms that power it. You have one in your possession, but there are 2 more. You will find them on the battlefield below, imprisoned along with the demons that carried them. Once you have the runes, go to the ram. But know this, Nephilim. Even if you release Malthael from his madness, I will not thank you for it.
I do not need your thanks.
I'll have to write about it in my live journal, Imperius. He's probably butthurt that we're doing his job for him, Evo. Plus, you know, all the other problems. Hate primordial scavengers. They're nobody nothings unless they manage to make a shell armor for themselves. And if they do...
My journey to Pandemonium has allowed me to see a new world. One that is almost too fantastic for mortal eyes. The ancient battlefields stretch before me. A desolate space that is occupied by small, scouring beasts. They search the lands endlessly, thriving off the magic that lingers from battles long past.
What?
Not all of the hazards of Pandemonium lie above ground. The tunnelers roam just beneath the surface, breaking through to snatch prey in their enormous jaws. And my heroic friends ask why I wish to stay inside the fortress.
The spirits aid me.
Oh, absolutely, Krazenars. There's definitely a unique ecosystem in this non-plane. And I call it a non-plane because it's kind of like the astral plane in D&D. It's not really a plane in its own right. It's more of a connective tissue, which is pretty common in a lot of cosmologies. Now, you might think, okay, why are you even bothering mentioning that lore? Stop being such a nerd! God! Well, the reason why is because that makes it even more impressive that an ecosystem developed in a place that had nothing to develop an ecosystem. Everything here was, for lack of a better way to put it, imported. Yeah, I gotta do the evil thing and push my glasses up there. There we go. I am truly evil. Allow me to explain to you. Let's see how we do, shall we?
A perfect strike.
Not spawning quick enough. Spawn more! Spawn more! Spawn faster! Spawn faster! Keep spawning faster! Do not desist!
The spirit aid me.
No, 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 no! I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. One dude roamed off like, I'm gonna distract you. This freaking scavenger's gonna hate scavengers. I failed because of a scavenger. Because of one scavenger, too. Ugh. Oh, wait, sorry. 2 scavengers. Even worse.
I can't believe that Imperius really asked you, of all people, for help.
He had no choice.
Well, clearly.
Ah! Ouch! Hello, Mr. Floyd Pinkerton. No, of course not. I kind of have a rather busy schedule. The only period of... So, I suppose not everyone does this, but I tend to slot out my time into chunks. So I've got my co-op gaming chunk, I've got my family time chunk, then there's like miscellaneous chores chunk. That's for stuff like cooking, cleaning, basic stuff. So, then there's work time, which is devoted towards either streaming or working on rewrites. The only chunk in which that could have ever actually slotted would be during the co-op chunk, which would have also necessarily mandated at least one of my friends being like, hey, let's go play the D4 beta. Which, of course, is not a thing. That's a good point. I haven't updated the HUD lately. Let's see. So, hang on. Let's pause everything. Hit the stream brakes. Let's look at our story negatives. We're up to 25 story negatives. Shame on you, game. And we're up to 70 story positives. Shame on you, game. Let's see. In the negative character, we're up to 18 gameplay negatives. Oh, absolutely pathetic. And we're up to 100 gameplay positives. Ah, hectic. Ah, I spit on this terrible game. D2 was better in every way. That's probably a good idea, Evo, because we're actually pretty close to the end of Reaper, so... We'll be... So, Evo, before you go... Evo, no! And she's already gone. Damn it. Alright, whatever. Well, assuming we're on schedule, we're probably going to be doing the 70 showcase, which will also include actually allowing other people to join us, most likely starting tomorrow. Now, Evo would literally rather jump off of a cliff than group up with me, but she is one of the people who is invited. Why would that matter, Evo? Do you know how quickly I could level you, Evo? Yep, she's gonna jump off a cliff rather than hang out with me. Don't blame her, honestly. We'll also probably be doing seasonal stuff, which will be a part of that. And I'll be starting over at level 1 with seasonal. So... yeah, if I really push and pay attention, especially on my wizard, I could get you to level 70 in about 15 minutes. That is not an exaggeration. However, what's more likely to happen is we'll hit some seasonal characters up. I gotta show that off. Still need to look that up, too. Probably unlikely Blade to Ball. I'm hurrying, sort of. I mean, I'm hurrying at my usual pace. I'm going my normal pace of gameplay, which for some reason most people think of as hurrying. We're level 50. We might actually start to have problems if we hit 61 in here.
I have found many references to the beasts of Pandemonium in Kane's old writings. He journeyed there 20 years ago to help a band of heroes seal away the primevals, and his discoveries appear to have shaken him deeply. Sometimes he would stare outside the fortress walls, and winged beasts would appear, calling his name.
Right, sorry, so I should mention this. There's actually a couple references to this, but it's made pretty clear, including in the dialogue we literally just heard, that the entire party was responsible for D2. That's a key distinction because the narrative is also pretty clear that there's only one Nephilim. So, in D2, all of them, like you know, the Barbarian, the Sorceress, you know, the whole group was the party pushing through D2, narratively speaking. And in D3, it's just us. Which I'm only mentioning because it helps to distinguish just how different the power level is. Because some people would otherwise be presumed to think that the D2 character is stronger. After all, the D2 character kills a lot more Lords of Hell than we do in D3. This is an interesting combo.
My curse upon you.
Let's get out of here. I mean, that's true, Blade Chaval.
Spirits grant me blessings.
It's okay too, Basemaster. It was I honestly thought you were joking, so I wanted to kind of clarify first. Lord knows I have plenty of people who like to joke in my chat.
You die!
So yes, absolutely, Huthor. But my overall point is that while a group of 8 people killing Baal is impressive, one person killing Belial is arguably more impressive. That's really my overall point.
Though the subjugators have always been powerful demon sorcerers, they constantly sought to increase their standing in the bloodthirsty realms of hell. To this end, they imprisoned a score of massive Armadon, torturing and flaying them until the hell beasts would bear subjugators as riders. Together, the Mount and its master are nearly invincible.
Gosh darn it. Huthor! No! No! It's... what have you done, Huthor? Anyways, thank you to Basemaster. I do have that down. For Dishonored 2. Oh! Looks like we've got Shen's quest. And Irena's quest, finally. So hang on. Let's clean up our inventory, and done! Okay.
I thought on what you said, and you may have been right. Can't bear the thought of another friend's death.
The alternative is to spend a life alone. No easy path, Hedrick.
I suppose so.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the Witch Doctor is he reacts to most of the people's plights and traumas and tribulations pretty straight. He doesn't say, it'll be okay. He says, well, both of those things suck, so pick your poison. Which is true. Go figure. Yeah, be mine.
I have seen many warriors in my day, but only a scant few of them could face the might of an oppressor. This monster towers over the tallest barbarians, and wields weapons crafted from hell-forged steel. They were last seen with Baal during his resurgence, and left legions of dead men in their wake.
I need to go back.
Well, it depends, Mr. Blasty. Which game has the best afterlife? I suppose Forgotten Realms qualifies by default. I would also give it to WoW, if not for the fact that I hate that expansion. And hate's a strong word, but, you know.
Despite all of this, I find myself with hope for the future.
I think this hope includes Irena, yes?
No! No, of course not. I do find her company stimulating. Yeah, I do enjoy her unique way of looking at things, but, I mean, no.
I think you should tell her you have left your vows behind.
What? Well, you know. I mean, she is quite interesting. So, yeah, I suppose so. Perhaps I should. Maybe.
Cormac, never change.
I've met a lot of these people before in Bastion's Keep. The blacksmith is Hadrig. He's grumpy. Shen's the jeweler over there, and he tells good stories. Then there's Cormac and Lyndon. They don't like me much. Irena's very nice, though.
Sorry, I'd rather fight than talk to people.
Oh, it's a typical Diablo player. Who knew? Favorite D3 character in terms of personality? Probably the Barbarian, followed immediately by the Witch Doctor.
You, mentioned that I should speak with Irena. I don't think I can do that.
If you do not, then Lyndon surely will.
What? That cad? Oh, she's already seen right through his lecherous ways. Surely he'd have no luck. Would he?
Who can know? But it would not be wise to give him another chance. You have battled demons, my friend. I know you can do this. Gather your courage and speak with her.
Irena? I, was... Never mind. It was of no importance.
Be brave, Cormac.
Yes. Well, Irena, I just wish to inform you that, I've left the Order. I'm no longer a Templar, nor bound by their rules.
What are you saying?
I would like it if... I mean, when this is over, would you consider, adventuring at my side?
Of course I would. I would be honored to fight alongside you. I feel as close to you as I did to my sisters.
Oh. Yes, of course. Sisters. Indeed.
No comment.
I now know that the call is coming from the realm of Pandemonium.
How could that be? It was not easy for us to reach it.
The prophet was a seraph. He may have hidden in Pandemonium to keep his affairs secret from the Angiris Council.
And then he summoned Lysa?
I saw her broken body, but the prophet's magic is powerful. He once saved us all. He could have saved Lysa again. Accompany me to Pandemonium. We will find where Lysa's voice is coming from, and perhaps I will uncover the answers I seek.
Let us seek honor together, my friend.
I now know that the call is coming.
How could that?
The prophet,
And then...
I saw her. Accompany me.
Had to bring Cormac for this one.
I followed her voice to this place. I can hear her so clearly. We must find her.
I do not hear anything.
prophet's magic is strong here.
Oh yeah, one of these points I should probably look at my abilities. I probably have a couple new ones. Oh yeah, okay, what do we got? Yeah, we'll do that. Let's do... None of those. Let's do good old-fashioned zombie dogs. Alright.
It cannot be! Risa? Risa!
When we woke, the demons were in our midst. We were not ready. But you slept, Arena. Why?
I would have woken Risa. You must believe me. Demons!
You must find Lysa. It is not too late.
It's
Do not go.
It's fine, Dream Whisperer. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
What is that?
The prophet asked each of us in turn before he cast the spell of binding. Our lives for hers. If we declined, we could leave without any thought of shame. We each heard the question and answered the only way we could. Our cause was too important to not make that sacrifice.
The prophet never showed such a place to us. Do my eyes deceive me? Is that you, Melena?
Demons surround Lysa. You must find her, Irena.
Lysa, where is she? Demons, where are they coming from?
It is good to see you, Irena. I thought I would never gaze upon your face again.
Do not go. I have questions. Something holds the spirits of my sisters here. Whatever it is will lead us to Lysa.
We trained, believing that we would fight together. But Irena was the one who was chosen. And we were the ones who must sacrifice to support her. Why her and not me? A selfish question, for I know that if she was asked, she would say yes. So I did.
Believe it! Sybil!
It was to be a dreamless sleep, but the blackness faded, and dreams I had. Dreams that became nightmares I could not wake from.
Sybil, I am here now. Are these the demons that killed my sisters?
Does it matter? Could you just be like, are these the demons? End statement.
You are always the strongest, Irena. Make us proud.
Farewell, my sister. This portal will lead us to Lysa.
The prophet said I would not dream, but I did. At first, they were dreams of color, unsettling. And then I began to hear voices. They called for me, over and over. And then I woke.
Lysa, I knew I heard your voice.
Why did we have to give our lives for you, Irena? What was so special about you? Chosen of the prophet. Your sisters were willing to sacrifice their lives for you, just as the prophet intended. But I would not play along. It merely took time for me to find a way out.
I never knew Lysa. The Prophet never told me.
Irena, know that you possessed the greatest potential of all your sisters, and so I chose you. They gave their lives so that you could survive and fight in the most important battle to come. They did this willingly, and their sacrifice is not a burden, but a gift to you.
What do I do?
Live. Fulfill the destiny for which I trained you, and for which your sisters died.
I always thought that Lysa was as strong as any of us, perhaps even the strongest. But she decided that the sacrifice asked of her was too great. How can I blame her? In her place, I might have made the same choice.
The greatest good sometimes requires the greatest sacrifice.
But is this not proof? If the price is too costly, goodness is not enough. Perhaps there is a better way.
Leave me alone. I'm getting drunk, and no, I'm not sharing.
Talk to Hedrig about the dagger. Answers will bring you peace you will not find from drink.
Don't be so sure. I found all the answers I need. The bloody Thieves Guild killed my brother.
You say that, but you do not know if your words are true.
And neither do you.
Real quick thing. I talk all the time about good voice acting and how it's actually hard to describe really good voice acting. Because it's just the sort of thing you get used to when you work as a voice director, but also when you listen to a lot of voice acting and actually analyze it. Listen to the way he says the word killing. So just pay attention here.
Talk to him.
Or killed, sorry.
Don't be so sure. I found all the answers I need. The bloody Thieves Guild killed my brother.
You said...
And it's just such a little thing, the way he said that. But all his words were slurred and just kind of loose until he got to the word killed. And it immediately and noticeably pulled his voice and tone down. Just like that. Right? And it's little stuff like that, which is where I tend to really pay attention to when it comes to voice acting. It's wonderful stuff. And of course, that's Troy Baker, so of course he's doing a great job of it. Excuse me. Yeah, bad voice acting. Anybody can listen to bad voice acting. That's easy.
Zai's jewel is here in Westmarch.
Where? We should get it at once.
Dinner first, then we can go after the jewel. Do not worry. I think it can wait for a little while. Yes, this is the place! The jewel is here!
Jen? Oh my god.
It's too dangerous! Come back!
Yeah, we gotta go save Shen now.
Shen! Where are you?
Yeah, James Hong is, as always, amazing. He's another wonderfully talented voice actor. It's harder than it sounds to sound like someone who is very intelligent and very observant, but sounds like a fool. You know, that obfuscation is harder to pull off than you think.
Shen! Are you hurt?
It's just a little fall. Don't worry! Do not worry. I'm just down here. Everything seems perfectly fine. Wait. What is that?
a good question, Lanira. I don't know. Good parallel, though. What, you don't like Snake to the face, Dream Whisperer? It literally shoots a snake. See? It's a snake to the face.
The world is a safer place.
You know what? I love this game to death, but I'm afraid I must do the most horrible thing that I could ever do to a video game. Oh, they're all just in here, TSB. I must give this game a gameplay negative. Oh, and a positive, but mostly a negative.
I strike at your heart.
Yes, all of this seems so familiar, like it's happened before. Hey, where are you? You're not lost, are you?
No, I'm not lost. Shen. There's this one theme in Reapers of Souls. We've already heard it about 15 times. It's a good theme.
If you don't hurry up and come down here, I'll find the jewel myself. Finders keepers!
But that's the problem, is we've heard it like 15 times. It shows up for lots of the side quests and almost every cursed chest. And it's like, game.
A worthy opponent.
I do so love a good walk, don't you? It helps me figure things out, such as what I'd like to have for dinner.
A really good unagi don would be good right about now, I think.
So good to be able to show you around again. We really should do it more often. Huh? Maybe next time, one of the night markets, huh?
I mean, considering how much of human society has been formed by the need to procure food, it's no wonder that it's so ingrained into us as a people.
The jewel isn't far from here. I can almost taste it.
You know, it's funny, Huthor, is I tend to find that WoW usually, well, let me block that back there. More modern WoW does a lot better job of its voice acting talent in terms of accents and whatnot. I mean, I could mention that wonderful Night Elf, the Ranger, as part of the Dark Shore storyline. But the one I really want to point to is, I can't remember her name, in Shadowlands, of all things.
Oh, little jewel! Little jewel! Where are you? I'll find you!
The one who's in the mall. Mall Walker. I mean, she's a great actress, so, you know, that's another one.
The spirits smile upon me.
But that's my overall point. They seem to have really leveled out, instead of...
The jewel! There it is! No! This cannot be! It's been destroyed! Durchus is free!
Zai, is that you? You look different.
I believe you are mistaken. I am Shen.
Neither. I'll be over here.
Zai? Is that you?
Zai is gone, and no more. He's a legend and a myth. The man who stands before you is but a simple jeweler. I have seen the years, and I have loved and lost, and I have grieved and wept.
Whoever you are, you have freed me, and I am happy to have looked upon your face.
And I am filled with joy to have seen yours once again. Farewell, and go upon this last journey.
Shane, are you well?
Please, I just need a moment alone. Do not worry about me. I will find you later.
James Hong, ladies and gentlemen.
It feels like a lifetime since I last held this jewel in my grasp. Oh, the memories flood back into me. I was a vain fool in my youth. I know it will be hard for you to think of me so, but it's true, though it was a long, long time ago.
What do we do now?
Well, Dirges has escaped, and it's more important than ever for me to find him.
Yes, Venari. That's her name, Daenerys. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt the cutscene. Yeah, as I say, Diablo 4 is almost assuredly not going to follow through on that, so that's cool.
Lyndon left a dagger here earlier. I'm guessing you're behind that.
He is beginning to listen. Can you tell me anything about it?
Let me look. It's well crafted for a Kingsport blade, and oh, the hilt seems to be hollow. Someone hid a note inside. Here, you should take it to Lyndon.
You actually won't let me. That's weird. We'll circle back to that.
I joined a caravan of refugees heading to Bramwell, but we never made it there. Brigands slaughtered everyone. I ran into the forest and hid for days before I dared come out. How am I ever going to find my son?
Peter and Lara have been playing hide from the monster all day. Such imaginative children.
I see no children here.
I said they were hiding, didn't I?
I see death everywhere. Even when amongst the living, I see the specter of endless night. But you are different. Death's shadow surrounds you. It obscures all else.
It's because we are death.
The Zakarum Church always held an unhealthy sway in Westmarch, even after the ascension of rulers more interested in power than religion. When the true nature of the faith was finally exposed, however, it completely eroded any influence the church had over civil affairs. And rightly so, I might add.
I tried to leave the city today, but the gates are all closed. The guards won't let anyone in or out.
What are you going to do?
Stay here and hide, I guess. I am a coward.
Stop that! You're a good man.
Deckard Cain wrote much about the Pandemonium Fortress. He kept meticulous notes, drew sketches, and even made some maps. But nothing matches what is there now. The fortress has changed so much since Malthael took over. The people of Westmarch are starting to rebuild the city and bury their dead. Their strength is an inspiration. But there are children that witnessed their family being torn apart. Others climbed over piles of corpses to get to safety. What will they make of the world when they grow up? The city has scars that will linger for generations.
Don't worry, none of that'll be in D4.
They will run when they see us.
Honestly, that approach kind of irritates me a little bit, TSB. I get that it's, you know, the easy answer. But that's exactly it, isn't it? It's the easy answer.
Fortress really didn't seem that far away from the Overlook.
We will crush you if it takes another 10,000 years!
No one has seen an armored destroyer since Diablo was exiled from the burning hell centuries ago. Before then, they were the bulk of it. A wingless...
Don't get me wrong, generational stories can work. And sometimes the timeline needs to move forward several, centuries or whatever. But at the same time, the story should move forward as far forward as it should move, for lack of a better way to phrase that.
What kind of demon are you? No matter. Death to the enemy!
Now, every now and again in my job, I end up reading too much. Well, no. I am accused of reading too much into a work. I contest that I don't do that, except when I am aware of it. It's always obvious when you're reading something into it that wasn't deliberate. So, to read into this scene something that was clearly not deliberate. The Demon Lord, who we killed, was right here. The Angelic Host, which we just killed, was right here. And I admit I enjoy the idea of an entire troop of demons and angels killing the crap out of each other, so much so that they ended up falling into a time lock over 50 feet of land. You know? Over this little spit of terrain. Like, you can literally see the other side, like, right over there.
Your gold will be mine!
Interesting battle cry, but okay. But anyways, that's why I say the amount of time a story should move forward is the amount of time that it should move forwards. Forgive me for sounding redundant, but I mean it. You should consider it with each individual story. Should it move forward a week, a month, a year, 10 years, 100 years? It depends. But the problem I have is exactly what you're already thinking. Excuse me. The problem is that most, well, no, I'm going to go ahead and say most writers of popular fiction don't want to bother with that extra amount of time and thought put into it. So instead of thinking about how far forward it should move, they just move it forward a nice big chunk, or completely ignore the previous installment regardless. I'm not going to bring, say, Star Trek into this, but Star Trek is guilty of this and has been for some time. Why do you think TNG jumped forward 70 years? Like, Gene Roddenberry's original overall goal there was specifically to try and distance itself as much as possible from TOS. A foolish and stupid goal that actually ended up causing more problems than it solved. Especially when he was finally ousted from position. Let's go this way. Oh yeah, I need to write that down too while I'm thinking about it. A true statement, but I'm curious why you think it's relevant, Uthor. Here's another time lock. Let me just get in here. There we go. Yeah, the only movie that had Roddenberry's fingerprints on it was the motion picture. For better or for worse. Not saying that it is a dig, just as a statement of fact. I love how this place is just falling apart, too. There's nothing so indicative of how much this has been a bad war for all of reality than the fact that the primary place where the battles have been fought is literally falling apart under people's feet. What kind of pizza, Reggie? I mean, Roddenberry is why the first movie contains a woman who has to have a vow of celibacy on her permanent record because other sentient species find her so sexy that they have trouble not having sex with her. None of that's a joke. I'm dead serious. None of that is a joke.
Ah, good.
Hey, we have zombie bears. We have zombie bears. We'll go ahead and switch it up. We now have frost toads now. And of course, we're gonna switch over to zombie bears. Zombie bears. Zombie bears. Zombie bears.
I bear grave news, my friend. The Sliver has revealed Malthael's plan to me, and it is worse than I could have imagined. He means to use the Black Soul Stone to capture all demonic essences, even those that linger in human hearts. If the stone is altered to rip the demonic essence out of every man, woman, and child on Sanctuary, they will all die.
No, we can still stop him, and we begin by attacking the fortress.
Malthael is fundamentally altering the Black Soul Stone. It will now pull in all the demonic essence from whatever plane of existence it finds itself in. But mankind is born of angel and demon alike. Every mortal, save myself, has demonic essence as an intrinsic part of their being. Losing that will rip their body and soul apart.
Literally. It'll be quite messy.
I never thought I would return here. Pandemonium was our battlefield for ages on end. Demons' blood saturated this ground, and many angels died defending it.
Why did you fight over this wasted land?
Our battles revolved around the World Stone. I had the Pandemonium Fortress built in order to protect it.
Yeah, the World Stone got a little expanded in this one.
Malthael was the wisest of your kind. Did you not search for him when he disappeared?
Malthael kept to himself much of the time, and he was known to leave without warning. Eventually, the Council became concerned. We sent his closest followers to find him. Most of them did not return.
Urzael and the Maidens. They found Malthael and followed him down the path of madness.
It seems so.
The spirits say that you created the Pandemonium Fortress.
Not on my own, but it was my idea, yes. The angels raised it around the World Stone many eons ago.
Then its secrets are known to you. Are there no hidden entrances?
I fear not. The fortress is always changing, caught between the forces of heaven and hell.
What shall we fight today?
I mean, a Morphic Fortress would be trouble, to say the least.
I spoke with the necromancer Zale. He said that the source of my visions is not necromancy, but something else. He seemed unnerved by it.
When this is over, Tyrael will need to replace those who fell in the Tomb of Rakis. And he'll continue to train and expand the Order of New Horadrim. With everything I've been through at your side, I think I can contribute to that effort.
Still nothing?
They will run when they see us.
So this is an interesting encounter. Mostly a perspective trick, but unique for it. I enjoy it.
Tyrael has told me that the winged assassins were once the sages of wisdom. In return for their vow of eternal silence, they were free to roam Malthael's pools of wisdom in the high heavens. Over the millennia, they learned nearly everything about the past, the present, and even part of what would come. What could they have foreseen their dark...
Attack the hooks!
Needs more time.
Like, functionally, this is just an elevator fight. But it's pretty good set dressing for an elevator fight. It's okay, I got zombie bears. Zombie bears.
Attack the hook!
You're on, Tim. Have a good one.
We only have one strike left.
The gates are broken.
So. This is the outro.
Pandemonium.
We're not done today, obviously, but this is the outro of the main campaign and the final dungeon. It's appropriate that it ends in Pandemonium, I think.
When I fought Malthael, my sword passed through him like air. He is in a state of death and life, impervious to physical harm. Your magic is not enough. To defeat him, you must channel the power of death, as he does.
The voices of the spirits below call to me. Could they be the key?
The power of the dead. If you could become one with it, you would be as Malthael is, and you could face him. But you must find a way, quickly. Every moment, thousands die. and Malthael's power grows beyond anything I have ever seen.
Well, someone get me my sword, please.
The fortress feels strange and new to me, though I have come here times beyond count as its champion and as its liberator. It changes to match the nature of whoever controls it, but I have never seen it like this while under the control of an angel.
Malthael's mind has become twisted, and so has this fortress.
Not off the top of my head, no, Masker Man. I know that they've kind of changed their mind about the Dark Exile a couple of times. Because it's a plot point that goes back to D1, which had none of the lore in mind. One moment, please. I need to look up something, actually. Speaking of which... just a second here.
Malthael's going to hear us coming if you keep making all that racket.
Good. I have waited long enough to face him.
Yes, but I'm not sure I have.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
I need to go back.
This is the wrong hammer, lad. I need the big one.
Right. Sorry.
And you, my friend, not a word out of you. Not a single word.
I was just going to tell Bryson about the good job he is doing.
You're going to distract my apprentice when he has all this work on his hands? Not on my watch. Now, lad, where's that hammer?
That's a good question, Reggie. And the truth is, I'm not actually sure. We're a little off the map, so to speak. Anyways, we're not going to chop off the guessing game, because we still have more stuff to cover tomorrow. We're probably going to finish up D3 tomorrow, though, I'll just tell you that. If you want to start wrapping up your guess, this is a good time to think about it. Forgive me, I'm trying to find something specific. Damn it, I'm trying to find a specific thing. You'd think this would be easy to find. Here we go. So, in one of the only times in the entire game where your class really matters, there's a quest coming up, which we're basically staring at. And there's a specific person that you will go and talk to. And who that is depends entirely on what class you are. So you can see Isendra, the sorceress from D2, if you're playing a wizard. Alyssa, if you're playing a demon hunter. Halbu, guardian, or not Halbu, sorry, the guardian if you're playing a barbarian. And Kasi if you're playing a witch doctor. You, that is to say previous you, if you're playing a crusader. And Ordan if you're playing a necro. And an Anisim if you're playing a monk. Most of these are just, you know, some cool backstory-ish kind of little stuff. And it's neat to have the acknowledgement. But the one that really caught my attention was Isendra. Because, yes, that is the Isendra, the sorceress from D2. It's one of the very few direct acknowledgments of the events of D2. She... well... she died badly, I think is how we're going to phrase that. But if you give me a moment, I think I can show it off properly. We'll do that in a minute. We'll do that in a minute. I just wanted to mention that. Damn it, I think I just lost their dialogue. Oh, whatever. I didn't want to see their dialogue anyways.
The prophet knew one truth. Evil cannot be destroyed forever. In time, it rises anew and stronger.
Your prophet spoke wisdom.
Yes, and that is why I must carry on his mission. But I will not demand the sacrifice that was asked of my sisters. I and those who follow me will not sleep. We will pass on our task from generation to generation, ever vigilant and ready.
With a new prophet to lead them?
Who can say what the future holds?
It is good to fight with you again.
Hedrick found a note hidden in the dagger. Read it.
Lyndon, I killed him. Come after me if you must. I'll be waiting. Rhea, my brother's wife.
The woman you loved. But why?
I don't want to talk about her. Not until this matter is settled. And I know you and I will see it done.
Oh, then let's do it. Why can't we? Why do I can't bring the weight? I'm in the middle of pandemonium, Lyndon. I don't have time right now.
If you see my children, please tell them to stop playing games and come home. Supper is almost ready.
I will do so.
I mean, what else do you say to that?
I've never learned precisely why Rakis chose to found his kingdom here. He must have had an important reason, right? I'm not complaining, but your roguish friend over there seems to think he can win my favor.
Lyndon, ignore him.
Please tell the other gentleman you travel with, the armored one, that he's much more to my tastes.
Hey, Cormac, if you stop going after Irena, I got some backup for you.
I've heard that you're journeying to a faraway land now. You won't forget to tell me about any discoveries you make there, will you?
Westmarch is currently ruled by Justinian IV. Originally thought to be a callow youth, Justinian came into his own in the years following his ascension to the throne. Rumors still abound about demonic activities surrounding his coronation. But I believe those are simply the product of overactive imaginations, fueled by the ever-prevalent myths of the Zakarum.
I know I'm of use here in Westmarch, helping the people recover and keeping order. Each must serve in his own way, but I would love to come help with the fight in Pandemonium, if needed.
No, I think we're good, buddy. You stay here. We're good. Oh, whoops. I have the wrong... Damn it! Hang on. It's okay. Teleporting is quick.
They will run when they see us.
So I hope you like black and blue, because you're about to see a lot of it.
The spirits welcome you. Soon we will speak truly for the first time.
Never before have I heard a voice from the unformed land so clearly.
Huh. Well, I'm sure it doesn't mean anything.
Ancestors, I call on you for aid. Malthael is beyond my powers, and I seek your guidance.
Though Malthael consumes the spirits of Mbuiru Ekura, it has not made him invincible. He has opened himself up to you.
But how?
Are you not master of the unformed land's power?
Malthael has grasped something greater than I have. He is death itself.
But the spirits would answer your call and aid you if they could be wrested from Malthael's grasp. Go deep within the fortress and set them free.
At least a portion, Huthor. No question.
Who is it that I speak with?
I am the one and the many. I am the voice of Nkasi. I am the voice of your father and the voice of generations past.
Were you not a man before?
I was, but now I am more. Here, in this place, I speak for the dead.
Your voices are diminished.
Malthael has consumed many, and so we are quieted. But even we few have great power. You were born for this, destined to partake in this battle. For you are the master of Imwiro Ekura.
We're actually going to pause for just a moment. Leave the game forever. We're going to quit the game, go back to a real game, which is D2, which is better than this game in every way. You can tell by the score on the screen. Okay. One moment. Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. What about you? So I might not be able to show you all of these. And by might, I mean total certainty will not be able to. Jeez Louise. Yeah, these are all seasonal characters, so they technically haven't seen any of the story yet. Oh my goodness. What in the world? Okay, that can't be right. Surely he has everything unlocked. He was my first character. Okay, something's weird. I know I have done these quests on this character. And yet it says I'm at the very, very beginning on multiple characters. That's not right. It shouldn't reset per season. In fact, it shouldn't reset for any reason. Because only these characters down here are actually... Well, excuse me, these two, and this one, are seasonal characters. That's really weird. Like, this is the character we did the lore run on. How do I not have the quests unlocked on the character we did the lore run on? That's extremely confusing. Yeah, exactly, Von Falkenstein. It should be unlocked per account at a certain point, and we've definitely cleared the game. Yeah, let's do a quick thing here. I don't think this will change anything, but you never know. I was just gonna hop back to that spot and show you some of the other ghosts you can talk to, but that might not be happening. For reasons I don't understand. Some people in my friends list haven't been online for 7 years. As I say, we did that during the lore run. Because I could. If we can't, it's whatever. It's, you know, this isn't a lore run. It's not necessary. It's just a neat little story tidbit. Excuse me. That's really weird. Okay, hold on. Yeah, no, we're where we should be. Adventure mode doesn't matter for selecting things. This is adventure mode. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever, I suppose. Oh, jeez. Okay, which of these are new?
We can't...
It looks like none of them. Oh, whatever. Moving on. Yeah, we'll see after we complete this, which won't be super overlong.
Pandemonium Fortress.
Yeah, I already talked to you.
The spirits welcome you. Soon we will speak truly for the first time.
Never before have I heard a voice from the unformed lands.
Though
So now we're on a ticking clock. So that's neat.
Before Malthael turned, his sages of wisdom occasionally reached an exceptional level of knowledge that granted them the title of Exile. These esteemed followers would guard the Chalice of Wisdom when Malthael was away, and they were the last to leave after their master disappeared from the high heavens. These monsters were once the most notorious and reviled criminals in Westmarch, drawn up from the deepest, darkest cells of the city's prisons. Each was worse than the last. Heartless murderers who had butchered countless men, women, and children. In death, Malthael birthed them in forms that matched their twisted, callous souls, creating perfect instruments of slaughter. The executioners have earned their name.
You like those traps, right? Again, Act 5 really likes its traps. Oh yeah, so you know who Inarius is, right? Well, no, you probably don't, because you probably haven't paid attention to all the things that talk about Inarius, but they decided to shove him into the game in D3.
They call me a hero. I slew demons beyond count. I won battles and broke sieges, but it availed me nothing. I know that this war can have no victor, only an eternity of revenge, pride, and hatred. Tyrael does not understand. He cannot see beyond the glory of battle. In time he may, but that day is not yet here.
I mean, think about it, Permeus.
Not ready yet.
Ooh. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that hurt. Starting to hurt a little. Starting to hurt. Inarius is the one who helped form the Nephilim as a species. Yeah, that's another thing. Tyrael used to be really battle-hungry. Well, one of the Tyraels. I should use terminology a little bit better there. Oh wow, I just noticed I actually died in that fight, too. Crap. Get all this crap out of my way. Just pretend you're playing Power Wash Simulator, you know? Similar vibe. What I find myself wondering about is how different have the various evils been over the years? They die all the time. Like, that's semi-common. Hell, Diablo's already died twice just in the games.
The Annas were among Malthael's most trusted advisors, and his fall to darkness affected them deeply. Gone were their radiant wings and calm, balanced counsel. Now they possess only malice and cruelty, and the insatiable desire to destroy all living things.
There must be others who seek a way out of the endless strife. Angels and demons who feel enslaved by our fate. I cannot be unique in all of creation. I know my path. I will find those disillusioned of the war and lead them.
My father is content to fight the same battles and the same foes while everything turns to ashes. Those victories might last a day, or a year, or 100 years. The war will never be won so long as he and his brothers lead. There is an end to it, but fools like my father are too blind to see it.
And that is Lilith. She's a lovely sort.
Suits me. I'll take that off your hands.
Also, there's about to be a relatively small retcon in this backstory. It does change the motives of the two a little bit, but it makes more sense, so I'm okay with it.
Needs more time.
I mean,
that's how we do it in Kingsport.
Logically speaking, anybody would want Vesker back to so.
The way opens before you.
This crystal has acted as a prison for centuries, but Malthael's actions weaken it, threatening to release the demons within. What can we do?
Prepare for a fight. Not ready yet.
That's an interesting question, Aspros. I would say it's more accurate to say that my interest in Warcraft, in WoW, has leveled out, I think is how I want to phrase that.
Need more time. I strike at your heart.
Wait, they left the Beskar? Well, then they're just idiots, Zakdaf, obviously. God.
Needs more time.
There's a lot of demons in here.
Your evil undoes you.
I mean, the best part is it's not really power creep so much as power reversion, but I get your question. I'd say, at least some of the in-gameplay power is representative of the in-lore power. At least some of it. I mean, honestly, I got other things to do, Dream Whisper, and I'm rewriting Warcraft someday anyways. So, and I know that sounds like a really weird way to put that, but it matters a lot less to me if a franchise I love does things badly, because I've finally found a way to just do it better myself.
I was struck down in the third charge. I lay upon the ground, only to wake in chains. I did not know that demons took prisoners. I babbled like a fool about my dreams of escaping this war. My captor freed me and said that we would meet again. Her name was Lilith, daughter of Mephisto.
I mean, it kind of is Pillars of Snow. Fine. I'll do it myself. So, I suppose, to answer you directly, Dream Whisperer, I think you're right. I think it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. Because I now have a solid and provable method to completely bypass it. Like, oh, FF16 really sucks. That's okay. I'll do it better. The main thing that irritated me about Dragonflight is the main plot, Aspros, which is pretty bad. Like, universal negative. In fact, I would have to seriously think about a single plus to story to give Dragonflight's main plot so far. However, while that obviously sounds rather negative, it's also rather localized. Most of the side quests and other aspects of story, have been done quite well. So make of that what you will. Yeah, but if they're going to frame the Mandalorians, why would they leave the Beskar? That's an interesting question, Zakdaf, but that wouldn't work at all, I'm afraid, because the clones work for the Separatists in the rewrite. Having said that, I imagine a lot of the clones will be offered clemency if they go to work for the Empire. Hey, Mr. Red. So, Lilith again.
I took a prisoner in the battle, an angel whose light was dimming. I brought him to my lair for my amusement, but he surprised me. My touch seemed to breathe life into him. He raved like a madman about how he wished to escape the war, Perhaps I have found someone I can use.
I need to go back.
I have no idea about Falkenstein. In fact, I have no way of even knowing if there will be. That's so far ahead in the timeline that I couldn't even begin to guess. Because that would be Clone Wars.
You said something to Hadrian, didn't you?
Maybe.
I grew up over by the...
Okay, we already heard that one.
This is the wrong hammer.
Okay, we talked about that one.
Oh, I can't believe it.
We definitely did that one.
Remember that noise I heard?
Yep, did that one.
Is there anything on your...
Yeah, we did that one. Okay.
Papa!
Oh, it's good to see you again, Kyla.
Are all the Reapers gone now?
The ones in Westmarch are. Our friend will take care of the rest soon enough.
Ironically, the Rakata will probably not be in Star Wars. I don't know what way I said blah, blah. I don't know why I said ironically. It's more like amusingly. But I find it amusing because you think they're pretty far back, right? Still, they might be in the rewrite, but completely different. They'd probably be one of the ancient empires alongside the Hutts.
If you are going to Pandemonium, I would love it if you took me to see the World Stone. A stone that is a world, huh? What a wondrous thought! I could just bask in this beauty and be a very happy man.
Not, I mean, yes, Pillars of Snow, but no. Hang on. The idea is that the Republic, the original Republic, which we were calling the High Republic, was formed specifically because of the conflict between the ancient republics and the ancient empires. The republics kind of won out that conflict. And when I say the conflict, I'm talking about, of course, the Great Hyperspace War. The republics won the Great Hyperspace War and merged into the High Republic. And the great empires all either fell or dissolved or destroyed themselves.
I don't think he will live much longer.
Making sure we're up to date here. Since we had to relog.
If you see my
Ah, here we go. That's a new one.
My visions cloud everything. I can find no escape. I plan to leave Westmarch, to be alone, far away from the constancy of death. Some people would call it a curse, and sometimes it feels that way. But perhaps it's not. I need time to know for sure.
I've never learned precisely why Arrakis chose to found his kingdom here.
Finally found you, Lieutenant Derek. Will you come quietly, or are you going to run again?
I'll go with you. I'm no coward.
That's not how I see it.
Leave him be. He is a good man, and he saved my life.
He let good men die. He's a deserter and a criminal, and he'll be dead in the morning.
I'm at peace. Perhaps the one good thing I did by saving your life can make up for the bad I've done.
You are a good man. Remember that.
Yeah, but he's also dead, so, you know.
I'm not complaining.
The Starforge absolutely does not exist. No super weapons. Super weapons are dumb.
I bring great... This around?
Deckard K. I know. Can I ask?
Why have...
I've heard that you're journeying to a faraway...
Okay. Back to Pandemonium. We probably will have the Death Star, but that's a more complicated question than it sounds like. The Death Star is an ongoing point of discussion. Let's put it that way. It's also pretty far ahead in the timeline. So we're still debating that. How many Death Stars? Yeah, I was talking to someone last night. Or maybe it was yesterday, I don't remember, but we were talking about how many Death Stars... Oh no, I was talking to my sister. That's what it was. On Saturday. And she asked me something like, so, will you include the third Death Star? And I had to pause and think for a second to remember which one qualified as the third. Once I realized which one was the third, I said rather firmly, no. Its inclusion in Return of the Jedi was always a stupid idea. She paused, confused, like, wait, what? I meant the one in the sequel trilogy. And I'm like, no, that's like the 5th or 6th. And she's like, what? I'm not joking, by the way. There's too many Death Stars. So, yeah, if we're going to include the Death Star, then we're going to include one. And even that is something we're still debating. Do you want the short answer or the long answer, I suppose? So we've got the prototype Death Star. That's actually the first one. The Death Star, which is actually the second Death Star. The Death Star 2, aka the third Death Star, that's the one in Return of the Jedi. And then the Darksaber, which is the one the Hutts build. Durga the Hutt, specifically. That's in the novel Darksaber. Are there any Death Stars pre-Palpatine? No. Even in the slightly adjusted prequel timeline, which is canon for AU, the Death Star was still being constructed under his purview, just by the Separatists.
Lilith is me, but of fire and flame. I could never have felt this way about a demon while I was mired in the endless war. The strain holds us prisoner to what we've been told to believe. She and I have made plans. We will bring others to our cause, and together we will escape.
It's fine, Reggie. So, opinion. Excuse me. Opinion on the storytelling of Kingdom Hearts 3. It's good, except when it's terrible. That's the short answer. The long answer is individual worlds can be good, but also bad, depending on the world in question. For example, the Frozen world is hot garbage. Is probably the worst world in the entire game. But by total contrast, the Tangled world is excellent. And there's other examples like that. Then the ending happens, which is absolutely awful. Except when it's good. Any questions?
Not ready yet.
I mean, honestly, yeah. There was just no.
You have given me your power.
From beyond the veil of death, the power of the spirits now resides within you, as it never has. You now live in both worlds, the true one and its shadow. And it falls to you to save them both.
Well, okay.
I have never been able
to... make sure we talked about it.
If I defeat Malthael and the spirits are freed, what will happen to you?
Those who have survived will remain in Imbuiru Ekura, though others have passed beyond.
Beyond?
They are gone forever, consumed by Malthael.
Well, that's a pleasant thought. Alright, well, now that we're empowered by the dead... Damn it. So, you know, Lich King mode engaged. Gameplay-wise, all it really changes is it makes it so that our attacks can damage Malthael. Which is kind of a silly thing to begin with, but whatever.
The angel I captured, Inarius, is in love with me. I can feel the intensity of his desire. I told him that we must liberate the World Stone, and then we can be together. We will create something never imagined by those mired in the eternal conflict. A new world.
A new realm.
I heard a sound and did not know what it was. I sought wisdom in the chalice, but there was none. The sounds called to me, and I knew them. Human souls. But where?
I'll be honest, I don't even remember that Pillars of Snow. Most of my complaints came from the way they handled time travel, which was bad, and the fact that time travel existed in Kingdom Hearts 3 at all, which was bad. I mean, I get your meaning, but the era which we're starting in is the era of the Mandalorian Crusade, the 2-base master. That'll be the first era that'll go live, and the first era we'll produce. However, which era am I most excited to write for? That's a tough one. Yeah, I actually talked about that during that cutscene, Aspros. I think I'm going to pass on your question, 2-base master. I'm not more excited for any part of Star Wars than I am any of the rest of it. That's a good question, Dream Whisperer. I have no idea.
Those who follow us are strong in purpose and conviction, but we are only few. Yet if we can obtain the power of the World Stone, it will be enough. We will scale the wind shear slope, steal into the heart of the fortress, and be gone before anyone notices the stone's disappearance.
The current intent is for each era to be a separate video, 2-base master. Although I'm not committing to that, obviously. Our Wars is, at the very earliest, 4 projects ahead of me right now. So, my mind's more thinking about the practicality of those 3, rather than Wars. Some called me crazy for working on 5 projects at once. While streaming. See, if I just didn't need to sleep, it'd be great. I'd stream all day, then I'd spend all night working. It'd be awesome.
And I truly love Athena. When I gave the World Stone to Lilith, I knew I'd been right to seek her all along. We have created a new world. We can live here in peace, away from war. I have named this world Sanctuary.
Ugh, don't remind me of college. I essentially didn't sleep through college, and that's not a brag, it's a regret. I have probably permanently damaged my health because of college. Don't do that. It wasn't worth it.
I brought myself to Sanctuary, where humans dwell. But the souls did not call me from that place. I searched the breath of creation, always following the sound. Always the sound. And then I understood. Pandemonium, where the World Stone once rested.
It's fine. Amon's fine. He just wants to wipe out all of reality because screw you. It's cool. At least he cares, you know? I mean, that's kind of related to the adjacent question. How much more important is headcanon than canon is? And that doesn't have one definitive answer, and that's my answer to you, Dr. Winter. There is no answer to that question. Or more accurately, there's no one definitive answer to that question. Do you mind? I'm trying to read here. God. No one's civilized.
The souls swirl and writhe. I now know the truth of mortals. All paths lead to death. Whatever their struggles, whatever their triumphs, they die. That is wisdom.
Interesting way of thinking of things. I disagree with that completely, Huthor. That's because I actually understand what the definition of canon is. No offense. That sounded insulting. I didn't mean it that way. The definition of canon is whatever the current owners of a project posit is canon. Whoever currently holds control is the one who decides what canon is. That is canon. That's not up for debate. That's not up for interpretation. That's what canon means. If tomorrow I somehow purchased the rights to Star Wars, whatever I say counts, that's canon. If Huthor purchased Star Wars tomorrow, whatever he says counts, that's canon. It shifts as it shifts hands, but what canon is always a thing. Now, the main way this tends to matter is for the official works that are produced. So, we could talk about the EU as an obvious example, but let's use Star Trek. When creating Star Trek The Next Generation, Roddenberry considered TOS, that included the movies that were still going live at the time, to not be canon. So he just sort of ejected them outright. He was shouted down on a couple of specific points. There's no... You can't disagree with, or you're wrong. I'm sorry, dude. You can interpret whatever you want, but you're wrong. The Earth is not flat. Sorry, buddy. Ugh. Anyways, so Roddenberry said, TOS is not canon. So at the creation of TNG, it was being created with the mentality that it was the first and arguably only Star Trek. Now, Roddenberry changed his mind about that, to my knowledge, 3 separate times before he was ousted and was no longer in control of Star Trek. When control of Star Trek shifted 4 times before settling on Rick Berman and the executive board, well, that's when they kind of solidified a little bit more of what canon is. So, does Bob Iger have more of a say about what Star Wars is true than you do because he sits in a chair and has a piece of paper saying so? Inaccurate question. That has nothing to do with anything. We're talking about canon, not whatever the heck you're talking about. You're talking about the original question, which is, does headcanon matter more than canon, which has no answer, as I've already said. That's completely separate. But canon still exists. Whether you acknowledge it or not, whether you deny it or not, whether it affects you or not, whether it matters or not, canon is. Canon is determined by the people who currently own the project. Nothing more, nothing less. And it'll change, as it always does.
Stole the World Stone, and now we have a group of renegades to follow us. I have created a new world where we can live in peace, a place of infinite possibilities. And Narius believes that escape is enough. In time, I will show him that even victory is possible. But first, I will give him children.
Gross. I never said the word definitive, Luther. Like, you're arguing something I'm not even bringing up. That's why I'm so frustrated right now. It's like I'm talking about this great mustard, and you're like, yes, that mustard's great, but this ketchup is so much better. And I'm like, I'm not talking about the ketchup. Mustard. Mustard. I don't care. Mustard. All right, so. Who's ready for the final boss fight? I'm not tapping off the guessing game, but we are about to end the outro. Hate mayonnaise so much. So they're doing that perspective trick again. This is neat. That's, That's a big old ball of death right there. With souls being pulled in every second. Let's, actually, we've got a decent build for this, so we're just gonna live with this.
The Soul Stone is a born sanctuary. The blood of demons will soon be gone from all creation.
God, I wish I looked like that.
You will be the last of your kind for a few moments. Death comes, Nephilim.
Okay. So I just want his outfit. I wouldn't look as good that skinny. I'm too muscular. He looks skinny as death. Yeah, joke's on you. I'm actually uniquely built to kill you right now.
It's inevitable.
Phase transition.
You are imbued with the power of death. But that will not save you.
So. Negative to story, honestly. Like, I get that he's being pushed up against the wall and all, but he decides to release all 7 evils, changes his attack pattern slightly, gains a wonderful red lightning. It's a great boss fight, but like, really, dude? Really? And status quo, and blah, 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 blah. So this is all dumb. Let's just get that out of the way. Negative to story, moving on.
The spirits.
Did we seriously? Oh my god. Nope, those aren't them. Yep, we killed death with spiders. That sounds about right. Wow. So there's the rest of, well, the path out there, visible now. It's actually a great fight. I just kind of rolled over him because I wasn't joking. I am uniquely suited to fighting that guy. I could just stay back here and dodge all his crap while he's over there on the edge of the screen. Trust me, that fight, first of all, is a great fight. Definite plus to gameplay. Probably 2 pluses, actually. But second of all, yeah, that can be mean. Yeah, he is super weak to pet builds. And guess what I am right now? Hang on, I gotta write down that story negative before I forget about it.
Where is the Black Soulstone?
Malthael consumed it and took Diablo's soul.
Then Malthael's death will have released Diablo. He is free.
Yay!
The Nephilim had done the impossible. By conquering death, he had redeemed the angels and saved all mankind. In that moment, with victory at hand, I saw the Nephilim in a new light. He is a hero who can defeat the champions of heaven and hell, and a witch doctor who protects the innocent. But within him beats a mortal heart that will one day be tempted to corruption. On that day, will he have the strength to resist? Or will he be our doom?
To be concluded in June. Honestly, roll my eyes. Because it's totally a to be continued. It's a very Blizzard ending, as virtually every game has had a Blizzard ending. Like you do. But here's what I'm really curious about. Now that we've done that, let's switch down to my freaking wizard, who has beaten the game like 7 times. Hey, look! I can jump around in quests now. What the crap, game? Okay, at some point somewhere, since the lore run, so between the lore run and now, something had to have reset my quest quest progress for some reason. I think it's this one. Like, again, even if you don't believe me, I have literally beaten this game on camera with the Necro. Who are you?
Pandemonium Fortress.
I did not think I would ever see you again.
That voice, could it really be my old master? Or is this some trick?
Well, see, the problem is, I haven't played the campaign since the lore run. See you around, Crazy Horse.
You? I have missed you, my teacher. I need help to defeat Malthael. In his current state, I cannot harm him.
You have learned much since I last saw you, including humility, it seems.
I often long for the days we spent exploring magic.
I remember those days with fondness as well, but I have nothing left to teach you. Nevertheless, you will always be my friend. And you need not ask for my help. It is yours. Myself and the other captured spirits have much power, but not enough for us to break free. If you release us, we may aid you.
Lysandra, you were the only one who ever really believed in me.
That's not true. You always believed in yourself. A little too much, if I recall correctly.
I miss you, friend. You were my real family.
And to think you despised me so when we first met. Life is indeed a strange thing, as is death. There are many powerful spirits here, but...
Well, there's this group called the Vizhaktar. They kill mages.
I am returning to town.
For more details, go watch the lore run. Because I don't remember all the details. Leah's soul has been destroyed. Completely eradicated. Lol, Dr. Winter. Okay. What did we get to? Level 57 is Nazebo. Wow. Yeah, we got way higher. Look at Joanna was only level 24. Jeez. Soon to be deleted, got 42. Poor, poor fools. Sorry, I'm thinking, because I have several other things I want to showcase. Why don't we do something different? Let's get a sub from Diabepis. Let's do that instead. I think that's a better plan. Sorry, everyone. Diablo's been canceled. Diabepis. And thank you for the sub. Now, I'm going to do something weird. I'd rather do the seasonal stuff and the level 70 stuff in a slightly different format. And so we're going to do that tomorrow morning, and we'll just kind of dedicate tomorrow to showing off the seasonal stuff and the endgame stuff. So we'll do something else with the little bit of time we have left today. But first, I'll put that towards Patchwalker, the BRPG block, and Fallout 4. Thank you, Diabepis. Excuse me. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a thing here. And first, I'll go ahead and chop off the local recording.